camp just an continuation of OTAs? Is anything really different with the branding of minicamp?
Yeah, from a operational standpoint, we adjusted a little bit to kind of coincide with training camp. So they're getting a taste and a taste of what the training camp day is like, minus the pads, obviously. So it is a little different. This particular mini camp, we're kind of doing a collection of all the stuff we've installed as an offense, defense, and special teams, and doing that in the mini camp and just using the meeting time to watch tape, as opposed to traditionally in training camp or OTAs, you're installing plays in the morning and at night. So it's a continuation of, but they had their first non-scripted period today, so that was different, which is typical of something you work into week 3 of training camp or week 2, and then but their schedule will be the same as training camp.
Mike, when you and Chris sat down in February to talk about tight ends specifically, what led to the conclusion that you wanted to keep this group back with Mike and Durham obviously re-signing, franchising them, Adam, Hunter, and then B would be, do you feel like Mike's blocking is good enough in your system and your offense to be effective?
So it was that was a process because you're hesitant to just make foregone conclusions off of statistics or anything like that. So it took a lot of tape watching, and there's we knew fully that we'd be asking these guys to do some different things than they've done in the past. After really deep diving and watching all the guys, it felt like not only did they put good stuff on tape, but there was a lot of room to grow. We thought that, and the people first and foremost were the type of people that we want to represent us as Miami Dolphins. So it was both the tape and the people, and it took a little time to uncomb, but once we uncombed it, we felt really good about it. As far as Mike Gesicki, he's been as impressive as any player on the team in terms of going after a challenge. He hasn't, you guys probably could rattle off the stats, but 3-point wasn't his primary position, and he's been working diligently in the run and pass game to do things that this offense can feature without taking away the stuff that has made him who he is. And there's pieces of that in the offense, as we're always tailoring what we do to the skill set of our players. But he's really attacked it with full vigor and has really done a great job working on his footwork in the run game, and hoping that carries over to pads when that happens, and whatever month that is.
I apologize. With Mike, is there optimism or hope or even confidence that something might get done long term with him?
No, that's something that right now, there's always conversations between agents and general managers. The whole building's careful to just make sure that I stay in my lane and coach some football. So right now I'm worried about getting everyone better, and if there's situations where it would be prudent for the club to act or the negotiations to go a certain way with any position, we'll do what's best served for the Miami Dolphins.
Mike, we saw Melvin Ingram kind of working during positional drills with some of the other younger players. Is that the type of impact? Obviously you'd like to see him get on the field for real, but is that the type of impact that you kind of envision when you talked about veteran leadership?
Definitely. That's something that we don't want to just throw people out there to throw them out there, and they have to be in the prerequisite shape, and we've been working since April 4th with the rest of the guys. So right now that's kind of the limit with which we're comfortable doing with him, and that's exactly why, all things equal, he's added value for the Dolphins, because there's an element of professional success and hunger. He's trying to prove himself as well, just like this team is, and we're doing that one day at a time.
Could you update us on the progress of Teron Armstead, Byron Jones, Raheem Mostert, all coming off their situations?
Yeah, the progress is that we're trying to be very deliberate and intentional with how we handle all those guys. And it's been very good. We haven't had a setback really across the board. Now, we are being fairly conservative, but that's like on an individual basis. You try to handle that the right way, which makes the most sense for all parties involved. And when they're ready, they'll be out there full swing. I can promise you, they want to be playing right now. But between them and the training staff, we're trying to be very pragmatic and smart as we bring them back.
I'm sorry, Mike. I know it's hard to judge offensive linemen at this stage of the offseason, but what have you, Frank and Matt, thought about how Austin Jackson's adjusted to right tackle?
Been pretty pumped about how all the guys have really gone after the techniques, and we're really focusing on some position versatility right now. And when Austin Jackson is playing right tackle, been very pleased because he's approaching it the way that the only way you can get better as a player, and that's complete commitment to it. So there's some things that we're asking people to do hard things at an elite level, so you try to do it over and over and over, and he's diligently attacking that. So the more live bullets that we get for him at every position that he'll play, the better.
Mike, multiple people have a great practice. Who makes the final say on who will be the DJ for the next day?
Well, that's the whole reason I took the job. Or the orange jersey. It's I haven't got any pushback yet, so I haven't had to flex the final say. But collectively, as a coaching staff, there's always been at least one player that's really separated himself, so it's been easy thus far. I'll keep you abreast if there's any fisticuffs up in the office.
I know
Final
it.
question here.
I know, as Chris Greer would say, he never closes the door on anything, but I'm just curious your sense on this. Do you strongly believe that your 2021 Miami Dolphins starting center is on the roster, or is that not yet really clear? 22.
No, I'm good with.
Or is that? Thank you, David Franz. Or is that not yet clear to you, Mike?
I think you have to be careful to pigeonhole who is doing what and when. Okay, I think that isn't fair to the process. I will say that we have, if no other players added, that I'm going to be very confident in our starting center next year. I'm excited about who we have, but you don't close the door or pigeonhole anything because it's just not fair to the process. These guys are out here sweating in what is this, May or June 1st, and you wouldn't be doing service to June 1st or 2nd if you made some bold statement. That's why we practice, and that's why we work diligently as we do.